Warning, this show contains childish adult content and is intended for immature, mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views spoken are ours and ours alone, not those of any other bugger. If you're easily offended, we strongly suggest finding another podcast. Everybody neat and pretty, then on with the show.
Welcome, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome to Dis After Dark. I am Nick, and this week we are joined by the following people. Mr. Dolan.
Good evening.
Mr. Ripley.
Hello to you.
Mr. Washington.
Good evening.
And Miss White.
Hi.
How are we all?
Awesome.
Good.
Yes. Been enjoying a British summer?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been gorgeous, hasn't it?
There's been some summer anyway. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's raining now.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday or Wednesday, must have been Wednesday, my wife was awoken at 5:30 by her sister to ask if she could come and rescue them as their house had become flooded during the storm. They got about 3 foot of rain in their house.
Oh.
Or water. It wasn't rain. It was obviously where stuff had overflowed. But yeah, so they had like 3 feet of rain. And the weirdest thing is that not even 3 hours later, she had to go and take our daughter to school, and it had all gone.
Wow.
Even the house, the water had just gone, just disappeared. It's amazing how quickly it comes and goes. But I mean, that's only one side of the weather, I suppose. We have had some glorious sunshine as well. So, you know, a little bit of Orlando weather almost. Well, as near to Orlando as we're going to get with weather in this country. But anyway, right, who has got something to drink?
I have for once.
Oh, knock us off.
I know. I'm having a really unprincessy drink of a bottle of Budweiser.
You know what? I'm not going to argue with that.
Yes, it's the king of beers, definitely not princessy.
No, the king.
It's apparently the king. Have you got one of the new bottles?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen a new bottle. What's it look like?
No, it looks the same. But and this is going to sound probably a bit weirder for our American fan base, but in the UK we have to open our bottles with a bottle opener, don't we? Whilst in America you can twist them. That's right, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
I bite mine off. I don't know about you.
You bite yours off. I use my chesticles. You get used to the pain after a while. But no, Budweiser now have only recently I've seen this as well, but they are now advertising they do screw top bottles in the UK.
Well, I didn't get a fancy one like that.
Well, I don't know how fancy it is. I mean, it's just means you don't have to leverage it off. But yeah, so because in the UK we've never had those bottles before, have we? We've always had to do it the old-fashioned way. So another step closer to our new American overlords. Of course, now we've left the EU, or in the process, certainly of. Anyone else drinking?
Well, that's why I'm drinking Stella, because now we've left the EU. We're only allowed tea, so just using up the Stella before it's gone.
At least it's going to be good tea. I mean, that's one thing that the Europeans could never get right, wasn't it? Decent tea.
Yeah.
Mr. Dolan?
Right, well, this is just really strange, because normally I'm the one that's got alcoholic drink. Everybody else is conspiring against me here, and I've got tea because I'm detoxing. I'm detoxing after my golf trip, but it isn't even that good tea that you were just talking about, Nick. It's green tea.
Oh, sir!
Oh my God!
Sorry for you.
Well,
you must be hungover.
I don't know. I've just completely got out of whack with things here. Anyway, normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. In the meantime, tally ho.
And Mr. Washington.
I'm on the hard stuff as well. I got a glass of milk.
Have that moustache going on. That's good.
Yeah.
I hope it's only skimmed milk. I hope it's not that full fat stuff.
No, it's not. It's skimmed.
Yes. Okay.
It's just white water, isn't it? Skim milk.
Yeah, basically.
We have because go on.
I was just going to say, for our American listener in Wyoming or wherever he is, it's 1%, 2% is skimmed, semi-skimmed. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but we've just, again, that's another thing we've just started to kind of introduce over here, isn't it? 1% milk.
Mm.
Some chains, I mean, Asda definitely do, part of the Walmart group, and I think Sainsbury's do 1% milk as well.
But what's in the 99% then?
Jay-Z owns that milk.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was detoxing, but I'm not today. Well, I haven't been today. So I've got a can, another can. He has to tap it just to make sure it doesn't go everywhere. Of Coors Lights. You'll be pleased to know the Coors Light cans of our American overlords also have the the cold and damn cold ribbons on the can as well as the bottles. So I know this one is exceptionally cold because it's the damn cold bit has become visible on the can. So chin chin. Now, we was talking just before the show started, and actually, it's a very newsworthy show. We're actually going to be professional for once, allegedly.
Well, we did say that. We said we had a lot of news.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, you get my drift a little bit. I think we are going to start with Amanda.
Well, I'm going to talk about my favourite thing. So, the new Frozen Ever After ride opened this week in the Norway Pavilion at Epcot, and I am so excited about it.
Now, I saw the queues on opening day, because was it officially opening day on Tuesday, or was it just like a soft opening?
I think it was official.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the official opening.
Okay. I mean, the queue was ridiculous, wasn't it? I mean, the sign only goes up to 300 minutes.
Yeah. And it's at that.
Yeah, it was all over Epcot. I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't actually back to the golf ball, to be honest, because it looked so busy. But yeah, I mean, what have you seen yourself, Amanda?
So I've actually watched a POV of this one. I caved in and watched it, and I'm so glad that I did, because it looks amazing. Basically, you go on the same boats that you did on Maelstrom, and you take the same route as you did on Maelstrom, but they've completely redesigned the entire scenery of the ride. So as you're going through the queue, you'll go through like Wandering Oaken's trading post, and basically you're going to go to Anna and Elsa's Winter in Summer Festival. So the animatronics on it, the best animatronics I've ever seen.
Wow.
They are ridiculous.
I've got to say, I've also... Has anyone else watched the video of this, by the way?
I've seen it about 6 or 7 times. My son absolutely loves it.
I've also watched the video. I watched one of the first ones, actually. I'm sure there's better ones, but I mean, the one I saw was perfectly... was decent enough. And I have to agree. I mean, they're using pretty much the same technology as they use for the dwarves, aren't they, in the mine train? But I mean, I think we can all say they are better. I think the Olaf animatronics, and spoiler alert for anyone that's going to be going on this ride, Olaf is featured and featured quite a few times, actually.
Yeah.
But they are very good. I thought it was quite surprising how realistic he looked.
Yeah, it looked like a puppet.
Moved and stuff. Yeah, it was very, very well done. And the same projection mapping technologies used on the human characters as the Seven Dwarfs, and also it's the same. I'm sure I must be correct in saying it's the same technology they use for Buzz Lightyear as well when you're going on to the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin or whatever it's called at your respective park. So it's just another updated version of that technology, but it's clearly the best example of this that I've seen, I think.
It's incredible. The movements, they're just so fluid. You can't even believe that it's an animatronic. It looks amazing. I would have queued for that whole 300 minutes to go on this.
See, that's the thing, though. I especially being outside and being in Florida and being in that heat, I don't know why anyone would.
I would, 100%.
Well, this is the problem. It has got a huge fault with the ride, being that the capacity hasn't changed. It's still the same as the old Maelstrom, which used to have queues all the time. They're saying it's possibly less than 1,000 people an hour, which is ridiculous.
The last week it's been even less because it's been breaking down a lot.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's the reason why the queue was 300 minutes. I've seen at least 3 or 4 different POVs that at least one of the animatronics isn't working.
Oh, really?
Is it the Yeti?
I know, when you were saying that, I was thinking Disco Yeti as well.
You know what? Marshmallow is the only one that actually has been working. The rest of them haven't. At least once they've broken down.
Oh, no.
I've seen one that the first Olaf wasn't moving.
Oh.
I've heard at least one person say the Anna and Elsa ones weren't working, and then there's obviously the big Anna and Elsa, the big Elsa one, that when she's singing "Let It Go," wasn't moving. So when she does the big push you back, her arms weren't coming up, so she was just stood there.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why the queues have been so large for the last week, is that they haven't quite got the handle on getting the animatronics to work the whole time.
Aww.
Well, that's going to be a really big problem, though, isn't it, during the summer? When people come to see this, if we can only do, what did you say, 1,000?
Less than 1,000.
Oh.
If it's running at optimum efficiency.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be
at
ugly.
points, they've not even opened the standby queue. They've only been letting people on with fast passes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's queuing that, and that's the thing. You're talking about queuing for 300 minutes, over 300 minutes with a fast pass. It's unprecedented.
Well, 1,000 an hour. You know, what's the park open typically in the summer? Maybe 12 hours, 12,000 people a day in summer. It's not even going to touch it, is it? I wouldn't have thought.
Do we think, in that case, they've made a mistake in that? I mean, I suppose in some ways it was a perfect fit, because the Norwegian Pavilion had a ride that people liked, but it wasn't, compared to some of the other pavilions, that popular. And the fact that Frozen was set in Norway, or a version of Norway, meant that it in some ways it made sense. At the same time, I understand people's issues with when they first announced they were doing the Frozen ride there, in that it doesn't go with the theme of Epcot. Like the World Showcase isn't about, they didn't like insert, let's think, Snow White into Germany, for example, or Alice or Mary Poppins ride into the UK.
Yeah, that's true.
So I can understand why some people might be a bit funny, and if that's the kind of problem with capacity, would it have not made more sense to have made this a dark ride, not on a boat, and had it over in Fantasyland?
Yeah. But I'm mad about it.
They want to shift some traffic to Epcot, though, don't they?
Yeah, I think that's the issue that Epcot is struggling. I know we've said about Hollywood Studios being missing rides, but Epcot's got to that point where that now has got to be the next park that they look at. And I think to put something in that was fairly easy for them to put in, with possibly their biggest franchise, it's a no-brainer, really, isn't it?
It is, but what I'm saying is, was it too big? Had Frozen been a hit, but not Frozen hit, so it was successful in a way that Tangled was, for example, where it did really good business and made them a lot of money, but Frozen has become their biggest film. And you put the most popular film in the smallest place you probably could have done.
Yeah, I think it probably will cause issues for them over the summer, but I guess they'll have to just handle that when it happens. They'll have to come up with something.
That's the only thing. I mean, and I mean, it's the initial thing as well, isn't it? But I don't think it's going to take a long time for it to slow down.
Well, they've moved the Anna and Elsa meet and greet now they've got their own little cabin that's next to it. So I feel like as the hype kind of dies down a little bit, people will kind of split it between doing the meet and greet and the ride, and then do the ride and then the meet and greet. So that they split the crowd up a little bit. Potentially. I just think like maybe that's what they should have done. They should have had the meet and greet in Norway, because that would have still brought people over there. But maybe the ride should have gone in a bigger place. And also, if you made it a dark ride, so let's say, for example, you had it on a trackless system or something similar to that, where you could have slightly bigger cars going round the attraction, some more capacity, that would have stopped that issue as well. Yeah. Maybe. Paul, Chris, do you have any opinions on that one?
Yeah, I guess if it's really successful, well, it is going to be really popular. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I guess it's a bit like Toy Story Midway Mania. It will upset some people who have looked forward to it and they got young kids if they can't get on it, but it will create a demand. And then who knows in the future, would they add more to it, like they're doing with Toy Story Midway Mania, where they're putting in a whole new section behind it. So it's just a shame if you've got young kids who love that film, and a lot of people only go to Walt Disney World for, I'm thinking Americans particularly, maybe only go for 3, 4, 5 days. If you can't get a fast pass, then it's going to be really frustrating if your kids don't get on that ride.
Yeah. No, I agree, and so I think it's because it's such a popular film. That's the thing that bothers me. I mean, if they're looking at possibly changing stuff up around Epcot, could we be seeing something like, I don't know, Big Hero 6 in Japan? I kind of hope not. I hope this is like the last character-y kind of thing that they put into the World Showcase. But I wouldn't really be surprised if they did start doing stuff like that. Yeah.
I think the problem is that they were just trying to react so quickly to all the hype that they were riding with Frozen.
Yeah.
And they just, it's like, quick, let's refurb, Maelstrom quickly and do what we can as fast as we can, whereas it might have lent itself to a whole land, rather than just a pavilion at Epcot. Maybe not at Epcot. I mean, it probably should have been at Magic Kingdom, but who knows? No,
that's all I feel. I mean, I feel very mixed because I didn't really get why people were so upset, but I kind of do. And when you say something like that, where you talk about the capacity issues, then I'm starting to think maybe they've put the right attraction in the wrong place. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and especially because again, that meet and greet would have brought people over to Norway. If Maelstrom had stayed and you put the princesses there, they would have come.
I think Epcot did need a bit of jazzing up, though. I mean, there's a lot there that's really old and had it. So I don't know if they could have built. I mean, I know they have got expansion pads behind some of the pavilions. I'm sure there's space to put new attractions in without having to refurb or repurpose existing ones. So I don't know. the way Disney spends money, it probably costs just as much money to refurb that ride as it did to build a new one.
Yeah.
But despite the doom and gloom, if you've seen it, you're probably impressed. And I mean, even people that have still been a bit negative about it, it's the best you're going to get for what it is. There's nothing else they could have done by keeping that same ride and that same ride technology. They've done absolutely the best they could have done with that. I don't think you could expect anything more, realistically. So, yeah. Okay, good. All right, Amanda, you had something else you want to talk about as well?
Yes, so Mickey's new Castle stage show made its debut last week as well. So it is Mickey's Friendship Fair, and I think this looks better than Dream Along with Mickey from what I've seen today, because I also watched a video of this. I was really annoyed today watching all the videos. So the whole theme around this one is that you've got Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald and Daisy, and they are preparing for a friendship festival, and they travel all around finding friends to bring to the festival. So we'll see Princess Tiana, we'll see Rapunzel, and then Mickey surprises Minnie by bringing Anna and Elsa at the end. Surprise. So there's Frozen in this too. And so there's loads of songs from the respective films and lots of dancing. I think it looks like a really good show. Looks really, really good. The costumes are awesome. And also, Mickey and Minnie have shown their new look for the first time at Walt Disney World.
Okay. So
Has anyone seen the new look?
No. Is this the same as the Shanghai look?
Yeah.
So so they've got the new masks.
Yeah.
So I should have put spoiler alert before saying that. Okay. So okay. Well, I like those. I've got to be honest. I like those.
Yeah.
I know they're kind of divided people, but to me, I think the new masks look more like the animated characters.
Do ya?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not a fan of these new ones.
Okay. What is it you don't like?
I can't put my finger on it. It's just there's a weird shape to the face that I just don't like. And I don't know whether it's the mouth.
Okay.
I can't decide what it is that's making me not like it. Maybe I'll warm to it in the future, but there's just something about it that I'm not into.
I mean, they're certainly better than some of the older masks, surely.
Yeah.
Anything's better than them. They were just downright scary.
Yeah. I wasn't going exactly that far back, but yeah, if we're talking original Disneyland opening, then yeah, that's how people were happy to see Mickey walking around like that. It's, stuff of nightmares.
Yeah.
Okay, so are they talking as well?
Yes.
They are. Good.
So they talk, they blink.
Yeah.
Full works.
I do like that in the shows. When they do that, I think it's really clever tech.
It's awesome.
It kind of adds that bit to it as well. Although I suppose they haven't done that with. Have they done that with Donald and Daisy as well? They haven't, have they?
No, not yet.
So I mean, I think if we're being honest about these kind of things, I can see why you wouldn't necessarily spend that money out and doing that tech for some of the lesser characters, but certainly for the main, so Goofy, Pluto, Donald, Daisy, and Mickey and Minnie, so the Fab Six kind of makes sense, I think. Maybe not even Pluto.
Yeah, problem is once you start doing that though, doesn't it then show up the non-animated high-tech ones, and the kids start to notice the difference and ask awkward questions, perhaps.
Kids ask awkward questions anyway. Don't
That's
have
true.
A talking character to give them that one.
Yeah, lie to your kids.
But no, actually that is a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, I suppose because if you're still doing normal meets and greets with Goofy and stuff like that, they won't have that tech. So yeah, okay, yeah, I get that.
Can you just imagine somebody the groups of people in Disney have probably argue about this kind of stuff, in great detail. They have meetings about, whether the characters' faces should be animated or not because of what the kids might say.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. How long was the show, roughly?
It's about 20 to 25 minutes, so it's a pretty long show.
Yeah, it is quite a long show, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long the old show was. I can't remember what the storyline was of the old show, actually, the last show. But yeah, it's funny because I was going to say I like watching those shows, but I can't see a damn thing about them. It's weird, isn't it? I think it's funny because there are people that will be able to tell you about every single type of parade at Disney parks and every piece of music that goes along with them. And to be honest, I always watch the parades and anything like that, but I'm far too busy just enjoying myself in the moment to actually pay complete attention to it. So there will be certain songs I remember and things like that, but I couldn't tell you what all of the floats came in and when they stopped and what happened when they stopped. I remember like the core details. So I know it's quite blasphemous for some people because they remember all of this stuff, but yeah, unfortunately not this guy. Anyway, how many times is it on a day?
I think it's the same amount of times as the other one was. I think it's about 5 off the top of my head, but I'll double check it.
Actually trying to get stuff right.
Yeah.
I don't know about this new show. I'm liking it. People are going to really think we're professionals.
You guys can just carry on my look because I can't find it.
Ah, fair enough. But don't worry. If you find it, let us know. Cool. Okay. And Mr. Ripley, you had something you wanted to talk about as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Snoring.
Something Mr. D will be doing at some point during this show.
Yeah. Not talking about him, unfortunately. Yeah. June 17th. So only a few days ago, the brand new Soaring Over the Horizon, or Soaring Around the World, as we know it, debuted at Epcot, along with its third brand new theatre. Wait times were horrendous initially. They were queuing all the way back to the entrance of the Land Pavilion, can you believe?
It's nice and cool in there, though.
Yes, an epic queue that would have been. So it's the wait times have come down a hell of a lot because it's got a lot more capacity, and everyone's quite excited. So, would you like to hear which countries and which locations they fly around?
Yeah.
First of all, can we just compare? Can we just confirm that the capacity on Soaring is actually 1,000 riders each time?
It's a minute.
1,000 riders a minute. Sounds about right. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
So it starts off at the actual Matterhorn in Switzerland.
There's a real Matterhorn?
There's a real Matterhorn. Then it goes to Greenland, Sydney Harbour. It then goes to a castle in Germany that I can't pronounce. Nichtstackenstein.
Is that the one they based Sleeping Beauty's castle on?
Probably.
Yeah.
It then goes to the Kilimanjaro National Park. It flies over the Great Wall of China. It then flies over the Great Pyramids in Epcot, in Egypt. Epcot.
You are in Epcot.
We are in Epcot. Then it's the Taj Mahal, the Utah Monument Valley, some islands in Fiji, Argentina, the Eiffel Tower, and then it, depending on which theme park you're at, it will fly over the Walt Disney World theme parks. But
did I miss Us in that?
Yeah. Well, we voted to come out of Europe, so they deleted our film.
You're going to do a flyover of Basildon's West and Eastgate centres. Nice.
Oh, definitely. Crikey.
Sense. Yeah.
And then get shot down on the way down or something. So yes, and it's got new smells, which everyone loves. I can't remember what they were, but we don't research this stuff, do we?
No.
And there was positives are that the transition and the ride seems to be a lot more smoother because they've redone a lot of the back stuff to make it all a bit more smoother and lovely. But there is one criticism. Some of the locations, and Disney hasn't put their hand up to this, but some of the locations where the deals fell through in order to fly over them, they've actually built 3D versions.
What?
Computer graphics.
Yeah, and they're not very good.
And some of them, like the Taj Mahal, aren't that great.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, You know, you can't blame them for that. It's not as if they specialise in creating, you know, images, cinematic images.
If only DreamWorks had been bought by Universal.
You can't believe that they can't find, how many locations? Is it 12 locations?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
You can't believe they can't find 12 locations in the world that they can get agreement to fly over. Surely.
As I said, Basildon would have said yes.
Basildon?
Yeah.
Barrett? I mean, take your pick. We'll have them.
Yeah. Scunthorpe.
Blue Water's a beautiful building.
Blackpool.
Water.
Yeah. God, flying around the UK. That's really odd, isn't it? You would have thought if those deals fell through, rather than go, hang on, we can draw some crappy versions, they'd just choose something else, surely.
Yeah.
It's not like it's the only 12 like good-looking things in the world.
Yeah, have you know, I don't know, Norway on standby or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is, that is shocking.
I'm surprised, given the amount of Brazilians that come to Walt Disney World, I'm surprised they went for Argentina and not Brazil. Like Rio de Janeiro, I would have thought that would have been a good one.
No, you're right.
Yeah, during the carnival.
That'd be great. Soaring over a carnival, straight into a shanty town, lovely.
Yeah, fantastic. What could go wrong there?
That's where you get shot down, Chris. That's where you get shot down.
Probably
the
there.
slums. That's quite disappointing. I mean, the thing that had disappointed me about it, although we found out later on that that's not the case, is I thought my beloved Patrick Warburton had been removed.
Oh,
But he's still there.
He's still there.
In exactly the same video.
Is it?
Good, because I liked the video.
Yeah, I like the video.
Oh, that's probably why then he said. That's probably why he kind of denied he was in the new ride, because he probably didn't realise he was in the new ride. If it's the same video. On that note, because I've not been there since it changed over, because I do have a love affair with a few C/D list American actors. Does anyone know if the test track video changed much? If the same actor was in that used to be in the old one?
Well, you mean before it was rethemed?
Yeah. So when it was because test track 1 had a promotional video as you were queuing up, and then obviously we've now got test track 2.0 or whatever.
You mean like the two people in the control room? Is that the actors you mean? Selecting the test to be run. That was the old video. Is that what you mean?
I think so.
Yeah, no, that's all gone now.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, because one of them was a guy called John Michael Higgins, who people probably know best now, unfortunately, for the Pitch Perfect films. He does the commentary in the Pitch Perfect films, the very funny commentary. Whilst I know him more for his Christopher Guest films.
Yeah, you don't really have a pre-show anymore, do you? You go in and you build your car.
Oh, of course, because you do it.
Pre-show.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, it's good that Puddy's still there, so that's good.
And what about the music? What are people saying about the music? Because obviously the music of the old one is fantastic, but did they keep elements of the old music? And
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
There's the transitions tend to use the old music, and then each clip has kind of got a variant of the music that relates to that country.
Yeah.
So like when you're going over the Taj Mahal, the theme's got a bit of an Indian theme to it, but it's still very similar.
Right. Well, that's good, because the music was a big highlight, wasn't it, of the old one? And the vision has been upgraded, yeah?
Oh, it's all HD, super duper, 25K.
It's not 3D though, is it?
It's not. But it's not that horrible film with the dead blue bottle in the corner and all the dust up it. That.
I'll miss that blue ball.
Yeah. He's been given a
It's a 3D blue bottle now, so
yeah,
25K.
He's one of those Disney awards now, I think, that blue bottle.
Which are the ones that they didn't get the agreement and they've put the Captain Pugwash style animation in? Which countries was that?
Well, to coin a phrase, other countries were not available.
Right.
But I don't know. All I know is that Taj Mahal was allegedly done in 3D, but I don't know what the other two were.
Right.
That's quite disappointing actually. And if it's that noticeable, I'm sure they're going to have to do something, because I think people might start. If we can get 3 million people voting for a second EU referendum, I'm sure we can get a few 100,000 petition against the new soaring video.
Let's start the petition. Let's tag it onto it. See how we get on.
Do you know the funny thing about that petition as well, about the second EU referendum? Sorry for our American listeners, but it does affect you as well a little bit. Is the fact that it was actually started by somebody in the Leave campaign.
It is, and allegedly 200,000 signatures have come from Vatican City.
Yes, I
and
heard
only
that as well.
800 live in Vatican City.
I think officially, it's now up to almost 3 million people that have signed this petition, but only 400,000 of those people can actually vote in the election. The power of the internet. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
When it gets up to 7 billion, it's not just the UK involved.
Hey, that's a good point. It's going to be, potentially could be slightly harder for us to get to Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, we're not welcome.
Yeah.
They were turning us away at the gates, weren't they, today?
Well, really?
No, I don't think so. No, they need the money.
I know. I've seen Disneyland Paris. They have turned people away because of crowds. So because of crowds, not because they're British.
Yeah, they just charge you more. They'll charge you a Brexit surcharge.
They already charge us more than that. That's probably another reason people wanting to vote leave.
Even more.
That's what the Germans pay the most to get in, don't we?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be in like a new annual pass. Like, so you have like Fantasy, Dream, and then Angleterre, and it's about €400 more. Angleterre pass, and it only lets you in for 20 days a year.
That's right. And if you're a shareholder and you go into Salon Mickey, you don't get the one cookie.
Look, as a shareholder,
the answer is no.
As a shareholder who does go to Salon Mickey when he goes there, I can confirm that it doesn't matter if before the EU split or not. It was very hard to get a cookie in there, full stop.
Well, it is, yeah. Now you're going to need to pre-book a fast pass for that cookie.
That's where they've gone wrong all this time. Oh, good old Brexit. Anyway, right. What else did we have? I think, Mr. D, you had a couple of things, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple of smaller ones, maybe. So, in the studios, there's a new Star Wars Galactic Spectacular Fireworks show. Started about a week ago now. Well, depending on when you listen to the show, obviously. So it features, multi-channel surround sound, projection, mapped clips onto the Chinese theatre, lasers, pyrotechnics, and fireworks, obviously. And it's a 12-minute show. Currently starts at 9:45, but obviously that's going to vary with the park hours. And from what I've heard, I haven't watched the video because we're gone end of October, so I'm hoping it's still going to be on then. I'm hoping it's not just for the summer season, but you never know. But you can view it. The best place to view it from is the centre stage area, which kind of makes sense in front of the Chinese theatre.
Which is why they're taking the hat away, of course.
Well, yeah.
Another reason to take the hat away. Okay.
Yeah, I'm so glad that hat's gone. Right. So yeah, sounds good. Looking forward to that. Music, fireworks, lasers,
And Star Wars.
Can't be bad in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Can't be bad.
I'm glad, I'm glad they're putting a bit more Star Wars into the parks. I mean, obviously, I know they're expanding that whole area in studios over time. But do what you can with the license. It's a shame, really, that obviously due to the local laws or the local agreements, that they couldn't do something similar for Marvel all this time. Couldn't even do like a fireworks show around the films or something, because I'm sure that would have been a good way to have promoted those films. Not that they need much promoting, let's be honest. It's not like they're doing much, are they? But yeah, okay, cool. That sounds good.
Did anybody see the previous incarnation of this?
I've seen
Star
both
Wars.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
I preferred the original one. I have to be honest. I just felt there was more emphasis on the fireworks with the original one, and having watched the new one, I found it very difficult to see what they were actually projecting.
Yeah.
But could that could that be down more to how it's been filmed?
Well, as Paul said, the best place to watch it is right down the centre, and this was from right down the centre. And the issue they've got is they've got God knows how many palm trees in front of the Chinese theatre.
So what you're saying is upset Captain Planet and rip the trees out?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Plus they've got two huge signs on the side of the Chinese theatre that said the Great Movie Ride, which is smack bang in the middle of the projections.
I've just had a fantastic idea. It should be like Thunderbirds, right? When the Star Wars Spectacular goes on, the palm trees just like drop down all the way, full projection, and then they come back up again at the end.
I wonder
Disney,
why.
take that idea and run with it.
Yeah, they'll have to see Thunderbirds first. But I'm in agreement. I wonder why, with that being said, because that's a good point, which obviously not seeing the videos I wouldn't know. I wonder why they don't just drop down some drapes or something. How hard must it be just to throw something down, or just pull down some big screens? Because if you're projection mapping, it just needs to be a flat surface, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So I wonder why they just cover up the signs of the Great Movie Ride, and as soon as it's finished, just roll it back up again. Well, you can take that one, Bob, if you're listening. Have that one for free.
What about
palm trees?
Giant lightsaber?
The giant lightsaber's great because that's right on top of the Chinese theatre, and it's quite clear to be able to say it's the rest of it that's just poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And if you're sort of down the end towards Hollywood Boulevard, you're not really going to see much, are you?
No.
Not been thought out massively, I think, this one.
okay.
I think this is a quick fix to get Star Wars in a bit more while they're doing all this work, and people are going, "Oh, I want to see more Star Wars."
Yeah.
I'm
sure.
As I said, to be fair, I think the original fireworks display was better. I don't know whether it's something to do with licensing laws that they're only allowed to do that for a certain amount of time of the year. There's not a huge amount of fireworks involved in the new one.
What did you like about the old one?
Thanks, Shanghai.
Thanks, Shanghai.
Yeah. I just with the original one, the music and everything, the fireworks just fitted in perfectly with the songs from Star Wars. And this is just a case of the fireworks go off when something goes off on the screen, and that's about it now. It's not kind of timed to the music like it was with the original one, and that's why it was called Symphony and the Stars.
Yeah.
But am I right in saying that Jar Jar Binks was in the old one?
Probably.
Well, then I'm all for the new one.
Yeah, I hate the old one already. Hate it, never seen it, hate it already. Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
They should get an unmanned hot air balloon painted like the Death Star and just explode it at the end. That should be the finale.
Oh, that'd be great.
Disney, there's another one. Take that as well.
You have that for free, Mr. Weiger.
Yep.
I mean, the only problem with, I would say the only problem with that and an exploding Death Star, potentially, some people, not everyone obviously, some people would know what's going to happen, but those people that maybe have never seen a Star Wars film, and they do exist, and that happened and something blew up in the sky above their head like that during a fireworks show, might find that a little bit scary.
Well, I've seen one Star Wars film. I'm not really into Star Wars, but if that happened, I feel like I'd know what was going on.
So that wouldn't scare you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but
because even if you've not seen it, you know stuff that happens in it.
Okay, all right. So with established, it wouldn't scare you, but it potentially might scare some people. And I tell you what, if it does scare you, if you're one of the people that would be scared by that, there is one hell of a podcast that you should not listen to.
What would that be?
That's a Scare Zone podcast.
That's me. Yeah, Scare Zone. Ooh, scared already, aren't you?
God, look, I'm just trying to find a segue. That's all I was trying to do.
Sorry. I was definitely not checking my phone for messages. Right. Yeah, Scare Zone. Me and Logan and Scott, we do Scare Zone podcast as well. And we've got lots of very interesting interviews coming up. In fact, I had to do my first interview with somebody the other evening, and I was as nervous as a bag of whatever a bag of things can be to be nervous. And it went okay, and unfortunately poor old Logan's got to edit it now, so he might be in there for the next week trying to sort it out. But we have got some good stuff coming up, so please listen to us. We're scarezone.com, and you can download it in all the same usual lovely places that you can get Dis After Dark as well.
Yes, don't forget about us. I mean, to be fair, if you're listening to this now, you probably know who we are, but just don't forget about us. But yes, if you want to listen to another excellent podcast with 100% less me and 100% more Chris, and to be honest, a lot of people probably prefer it that way. Although there's another podcast for that as well, which we'll talk about another time. But that's cool. Okay.
Can I tell you another quick fun fact as well? I didn't realise. My latest book about Halloween Horror Nights has come out, and Dis After Dark is mentioned in there.
No way!
Yeah, way!
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
in the obituaries?
In the negative reviews section.
Things to avoid.
No. Do not read this book. 1 star Dis After Dark. No.
Yeah.
You know what? If you'd have asked me to have written a review for your book for you to publish, or as Craig would say, and not really Amanda, book, I would have said, I think this book is on fleek.
Did you?
Evening, Lee. Why not?
Do you know what? Every time I talk about it, do you know what goes through my head? Do you remember Bo Selector?
I do.
Do you remember when Mel B wrote a book?
You just got to look for it.
It goes through my head every single time.
Well, when Craig says it.
Buy my new book, you complete set up, you know.
You need to crack me up. That's got to be like about 10, probably more than 10 years ago now. Probably more than 10 years ago now, and you just have to look for it. Oh, good old Mel B. Bless her cotton socks. Actually, to be fair, good sport, because I do remember when they actually did stuff together about that. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
But Craig David didn't like it too much.
You know what? I think he's over it now. But the fact it's taken him about 16 years to forgive him for potentially ruining his career. To be honest, I love the fact Craig David does that, and yet, of course, it wouldn't be the fact that he released a song about ice cream flavours. Literally, that song was talking about different flavours of ice cream, and he wonders why his career went down the pan. Not exactly a good subject. Anyway, right, so Amanda, we talked about your news. Mr. Washington talked about your news. Mr. Ripley, we talked about your news?
Yeah, we did Soaring,
indeed. And Mr. D, we did yours as well, didn't we?
Yeah, I did another little one.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't do mine.
We didn't do yours, sorry.
No, we didn't. Mine's the big one as well.
We ain't heard mine yet. Go on in.
Wow. Refillable popcorn buckets.
To be fair, it was better than my story, yeah.
Obviously, we all know about the refillable mugs at the resorts, but now you can get a refillable popcorn bucket. Just starting. In fact, they start tomorrow. If you're listening to this, well, it'll be today by the time you listen to this. You can get a refillable popcorn bucket for $10, and refills are $1.50.
Bargain.
So, because I thought refillable popcorn buckets were available in Disneyland.
Possibly. I know they do, because they do special limited edition ones, don't they, in Disneyland?
Yes.
So I imagine that's possible. What they used to do with them is very similar to this.
I could be completely wrong. I mean, I know this is news in Magic Kingdom at least, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know if anyone knew. So, okay, that's good. So we all sound like fools. That's good. As long as we all sound like fools, that's the main thing. Do we know if they're going to be doing similar buckets?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like they're going to be themed to each theme park. The one that I can see at the moment is an Epcot one. So I assume that each theme park will have its own version of it.
And is this like a limited time thing? So is it going to be like an RFID thing where it's only valid for like a
Yep.
week or so.
They only last for a day.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they haven't the initial. It just says the initial cost of the bucket is $10, and then you can refill for the rest of the day for $1.50. Whether you can then update that to last longer, I don't know. But
How much does
initially
popcorn cost normally?
God knows.
I mean, how much popcorn are you going to eat in a day?
Well, you know what I have to say to that? Bucket. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, the thing is, like, I get it. So, in Disneyland, and I think we must have had them in Magic Kingdom as well, because I've got a Han Solo in carbonate popcorn bucket. I mean, to be honest, they've got a bit of a cheek with these things, right? Because, I mean, it doesn't look like a popcorn bucket. It looks like a plastic box, really. My Han Solo one, because of, you know, it has to be a certain shape. But you can't, you know, it's very loosely deemed a popcorn bucket. But yeah, I mean, I've seen Cinderella's carriage, and I've seen a Dumbo, the flying elephant one as well, based on the ride. I've seen all sorts of shapes of popcorn buckets. I could understand if they were selling those for like $10 and you got like some free popcorn, because that would make sense. But if it's just like a standard bucket that doesn't, you know, it's just a popcorn bucket, I think $10 is quite a lot when you can only refill it for that day. Just sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah, it does seem like at some point you will be able to add more days to it.
Yeah.
But they haven't probably haven't confirmed it until they actually start doing it.
But
You know what they're like with their news.
If you like popcorn, that's big news. I mean, the only thing I will say, watch out, America, I'm coming to upset you.
That was a Paul Boniface sigh, that one, Nick.
It was
Careful.
a big PB tie, wasn't it? Is that you guys don't really know how to do popcorn. Sorry, I said it.
That's heresy, you can't say that.
That's what I'm saying. Because the thing is, like, we went to cinema and we said, can we have some sweet popcorn? And they looked at us like we was crazy. But you're crazy, America. Surely you should not know that. But no, just salt popcorn. That's it. Salt popcorn and a big drop of butter. That's about it. No.
Should we just qualify that by saying to our American overlords that we don't actually mean it? Now we've been kicked out of Europe, if we can just keep it, you know, keep them on side.
I just think it would be a good thing if we can introduce that to America. They need more unhealthy foods, so have some sugar in your popcorn. You know.
Don't they have sweet popcorn then?
No. And I mean anywhere. Like, if you go to the cinema, you just get salted popcorn, and you get hot butter that you can...
You don't get caramel corn?
Oh, okay. Yeah, but...
Not in a cinema. Not in a cinema, I don't think. No.
And you wouldn't get it... I don't think you get it in the parks either.
Yeah, you can.
You can?
Yeah, in the sweet shops. Like,
so is that like Butterkist?
Yeah, it's like stuff you get here, isn't it? It's like, you can buy it in a bag. So I think Amanda's right. You buy it, get it in like Goofy's Candy Cauldron, I think, places like that.
But what
You can get the little stands too. Like, you can get the regular popcorn.
Can you?
Buckets, or you can get the caramel one. Or caramel.
Caramel. Yeah.
It's me.
Okay.
Caramel.
But I wonder, because I mean, you know, what we have as sweet popcorn in the UK, you don't get. You don't get it in America. And I tried to explain it, and they just looked at me like I was talking another language. Yeah. That and tomatoes, the two things that I confuse Americans with. Sweet popcorn and tomatoes, don't know what I'm talking about. Fine, okay, well, I have one quick thing. So we'll drop this show on a bombshell. We'll leave this show on a bombshell. And that is, the rumours are flying about for our former buddies, France, and Disneyland Paris, and the celebrations next year. And they're talking about, you know, certain things that they're looking to try and do before or during that period of time, because there'll be things that are ready for the 25th anniversary, and there'll be things happening in the year following the 25th anniversary as well. And the big rumour at the moment is that they're going to upgrade Space Mountain. And they'll be turning Space Mountain into a Star Wars themed Space Mountain. Now, they've done this before, haven't they? They did this in Anaheim, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was just, it wasn't Magic Kingdom, was it? It was just Anaheim.
Just Anaheim.
Yeah.
So they, with like projections of things to do with Star Wars, give some effects and planets and stuff like that. So they're talking about doing something similar to Disneyland Paris. Now, apparently, because of the design of the ride, they've actually got a bit more room to project stuff onto. So it could be very impressive, and then obviously they'll update the soundtrack accordingly. But I think that, I mean, I really could see that working pretty well, and the fact that it's obviously right next to Star Tours as well helps. Because obviously
Not upgrading Star Tours then.
Yeah, well,
because obviously it's the original Star Tours, isn't it?
No, Star Tours.
No.
Star Tours.
Oh, it got an upgrade, did it?
Well, it closed in March.
All right.
So at the moment, it's people are taking pictures over the wall, and it's starting to look a bit more like a demolition site at the moment, where they're upgrading everything. So that's not due to open, I think, until it might be January or February. It was an almost year-long refurb.
Yeah, I think it's 9 months.
Yeah. In that case, then it could be Christmas, but yeah, I know it's going to be quite a lengthy one. And they're also expanding it out a bit, so I think the shop in front of Star Tours, which is Star Traders, I think that's being incorporated into the ride building now. I think.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest Star Wars shop in Europe, I think.
Wow. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I won't be able to trade Vinimations in there anymore.
If only they could find somewhere to project images onto, they could have a Star Wars Galactic Spectacular fireworks show as well.
Yeah.
I haven't got any palm trees in
to be honest, I
Paris,
think the problem with with Space Mountain as it existed is that where it was and how the land was themed, it made sense because it was Jules Verne's from the Earth to the Moon, and it was all themed around that, wasn't it, at first? And that's why they had the cannon. But once they took out like Visionarium and added a few more things in, the land started to lose its kind of identity a little bit. So I get why they changed Space Mountain, not that I agreed with it, but if they're going to continue down that route, then I think that's a logical way of doing it, and would certainly be probably the most thrilling Star Wars ride in any of the parks as well. So only rumour, not confirmed, but excited nonetheless in case it does happen. So we'll see. And just before we go, I suppose we should really... you know what we haven't even done? We haven't even told people if they want to speak to us about how to message us. That's not very good, is it?
It's true. How do they get in touch with us?
Well, they can find us on Facebook. No, I don't do that one, did I?
No, usually I do that, but that's okay.
Yeah, so the website is www.disafterdark.com, or you can email us. Of course, you can email us at podcast@disafterdark.com.
And we're on Facebook at facebook.com/Dis After Dark, and then on Twitter at Dis After Dark.
Yes. So please feel free to contact us.
Some good stuff on the blog.
There is, and we've got some guests. We've got some good guests as well. So that Florida guy's done some decent stuff for us as well. So check it out, the website. And just before we go, if hearing about this has made you think I need to book a Disney holiday, and I mean the only reason I can't is I have insufficient funds. My cash machine, when I ask for advice, tells me don't look at what's left in your account. But if you're not like me and you want to book a holiday to a Disney park, especially over in our American overlords, residents of America, you can, of course, or you should at least, contact Wendy Pratter at Magical Journeys Travel and tell her that we sent you there. Because if you do, you'll get $25 off your deposit off any trip package. So please go and contact Wendy at WP Magic Journeys, or that's on Twitter, or WPMagicJourneys.com on the interweb. And let her know that we sent you. Right, I think that's enough for this week, isn't it? So let's all say ta-ta, and we'll see you all next. No, I think we've got our new schedule starting up soon. So I think it might be Universal next. I think it might be a Universal show.
Yay.
Yeah.
I think so. Oh, well, if only Craig was here to actually steer this ship in the right direction. Never mind. Well, look, some of us will be here next week, others won't be. And we'll all speak to you soon.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Cheerio.
True, bye.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Dis After Dark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Right, so if you're still listening to this, good, because we didn't want to tell you who's carrying on, but if you've looked at how long's left on the record and think that's a bit long for a musical outro, that's why we're here talking.
Is this an Easter egg then?
A little bit, yeah.
Would you call it an Easter egg?
You could do. It's a secret.
This is After Dark, isn't it?
Yes, it's After Dark, After Dark. Of course it is. God, how could we forget that when we had our team meeting? So what we do with this bit of the show, essentially, is although we don't always waffle about Disney during the show, we do often go off topic. So this point of the show, after Dis After Dark, we're going to have this bit of the show just talk about anything that we want to talk about. It doesn't really fit in with the main crux of the show. With that being said, I've got something to kind of talk about. But does anyone want to have anything more pressing than me?
No.
I'm excited to hear yours.
Yeah.
That's not that good.
Soapbox.
Soapbox. No, there's no soapbox. Nothing's made me that angry for some strange reason. Well, it has, but nothing that the world's interested in. There's a lot of rumours going about. I don't know if you've seen. I mean, obviously, Marvel and Sony have now done a deal, haven't they? So Spider-Man was in Captain America Civil War, and I believe at least Tony Stark is going to be in the new Spider-Man film.
Yes.
I think it's called Homecoming, I think.
Yep.
Is that right? Which they've just announced Miles Morales as well.
Well, it's not
No?
been confirmed yet.
Is it not?
The guy that everybody wanted to play Miles Morales has been cast.
No. Donald Glover. He is cast, but no, they've cast some. Apparently, they've cast somebody as Miles Morales, like a young guy.
Not that I've seen.
I would tell you who it is, but I didn't read it. So that may or may not happen. It'd be interesting if it does, but I think it's a nice nod that they put Donald Glover in, because didn't he voice Miles in one of the Spider-Man cartoons recently?
Yes, he did. He was in Ultimate Spider-Man.
That's the one. Yeah. So that's a nice touch. I used to watch Community, so I'm a fan of his.
Yeah, I've watched the first couple of seasons.
Yeah, kind of. 3's not bad. 4's okay. No, it wasn't. No, 4's a bad one. 5 was okay, and 6 was alright. Shame. Anyway, so they've done that deal. So there's going to be a bit of crossover between Marvel and Sony things. I mean, the only stuff that's left with Sony, I think that's it now with Sony, isn't it? I think that's the only Marvel license they've got.
They only had Spider-Man.
Fox obviously had more, so they got rid of Daredevil, which is why it's a Marvel TV thing now. Ghost Rider's back with Marvel as well. Punisher, same thing, which is why he's been on TV. But there's two big franchises that Fox has of Marvels that they would love to get their hands on. Of course, that being Fantastic Four and X-Men. Now, they've messed up Fantastic Four. There's no comeback with that. Has anyone seen the last Fantastic Four?
No.
No, yeah.
I've seen Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. If anyone ever saw that, that's quite something. I think Steven Spielberg has the official copy. That was a rumor going around that Steven Spielberg bought the film rights from Roger Corman, so it never had to be released, and that's why it's only available on bootleg. No, Amanda, if you've seen it, you'd understand why they didn't want it being shown in public. It had a budget of about £2.50. Similar budget to what we're working on.
Is this like Kong 2 again?
Oh no, lower budget than that.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
You get lower than that.
You know what though? I think the Thing in Roger Corman's Fantastic Four is actually pretty decent. It looks.
He's in a cardboard box, isn't he?
No, it's rubberized. It looks more like the Thing than the Fox version did. Either of them. All right, that's another thing. I'll link a trailer to the website, to the Facebook page, so you can all have a gander and have a laugh at Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. But Fantastic Four, they messed up. X-Men, they didn't look like they were messing it up, but Apocalypse has been a bit of a disappointment, hasn't it? X-Men Apocalypse has not done very well.
Yeah.
Now, it's quite funny when we say something's not done very well, because Batman vs Superman didn't do very well, and yet did it make like 860 million or something at the box office?
Yeah.
And that's considered a
It
flop.
did.
It's quite...
Yeah, but it's in Ben Affleck dollars, you see. They're different to regular dollars.
Regular dollars, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Did you see that interview he did the other day, where he was ranting about Deflategate,
Yeah.
about the American football? They didn't know whether he was drunk or whether he was just really upset.
I didn't watch it, but I read what he said about it, about how many Fs he gave about it. I believe it was 17. Yeah, but yeah, it's amazing that we live in a day and age now where a film can make that much money and still be considered a flop. But yeah, the new X-Men Apocalypse hasn't done anywhere near as well as Days of was it Days of Future Past? Was that what it was called?
Yeah.
I know it was based on that comic line. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I think, probably not as good as First Class, actually. But so now there's talk that Marvel and Disney are having words about maybe crossing universes in that regard. So what do you think about that?
About time. It's ridiculous that they're split.
Yeah,
Makes sense, doesn't it?
I agree. I mean, we've got to be honest. When all this happened, when Marvel sold all the rights to different film companies, it was because they were going bankrupt. So they were just doing whatever they could to keep themselves afloat, which worked because they're still around. And we're talking way before Disney got involved. We're talking late 90s now. But yeah, I mean, you would like to have everything back together. I think that would be a good thing. The only thing I'm not that bothered about Disney getting access to, if I'm honest, Deadpool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Disney would let them keep Deadpool as Deadpool.
Yeah.
No, I get the feeling he'll be a separate entity.
Yeah, I mean that would make me a sad panda, I think, if they got the rights back to him, because have we all seen Deadpool now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'll go and see it, Amanda. Really good. Yeah. It's not your average superhero film.
Is it?
No. And if you want to see another superhero film that's not a superhero film, Howard the Duck, highly recommended. Another Marvel character, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he was at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
He is. He's part of the MCU.
Yeah, he's at the end. Did you not know that, Chris?
Well, yeah, no, I did. I'm just saying it's. I forgot, but then he is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to be in the sequel.
There's rumours that he is.
Yes, good.
Do you know what? There is some big Disney news we forgot to mention in the main show.
Mm.
Only Darth flipping Vader's been confirmed for the new Star Wars film.
Oh,
We knew,
Yeah.
but they've confirmed it.
I mean, I think the only thing that's shocked anyone this week has really been the fact that we've said, like, we're getting out of Europe. I think everything's kind of palled in comparison to that bombshell. No one saw that.
Yeah,
one
shocked
coming.
even the people who voted to get out.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I voted.
Well,
out.
I didn't think it was actually going to happen. I voted for it, but
I voted out.
Crap.
I'm quite happy to say I voted out because I had my reasons, so it had nothing to do with immigration. But even I was like shocked by this. I mean, I was up to about 12 o'clock waiting for every kind of region to declare their resilience to stay, and I was quite surprised. But
It was when Sunderland voted out. You're like, uh-oh.
you know what it was? It wasn't even that, because I mean they thought Sunderland might have done, but it was more the fact when Newcastle was so tight.
Yeah.
Because Newcastle should have had like a complete swing to remain, and the fact that it is a couple of thousand votes in it was when I was like, I don't think they prepared themselves for this one. And they hadn't.
Interestingly, Iron Man was Team Remain, and Cap was Team Leave.
That is interesting, because I was Team Iron Man. Oh man, I've have to switch allegiance.
Yeah.
So surprising.
You're going to be the new Spider-Man, aren't you?
I'm going to be the new
sides.
Spider-Man. I'd rather be Venom.
Is it true Carnage is going to be in the new Spider-Man film, by the way?
I'd be... Sony, don't Sony have the rights to Carnage?
Sony have the right to everything related to Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I think, didn't he have his own franchise back in the 90s for comic books or something?
Yeah.
Well, Venom and
Came away
Carnage
from
both
Spider-Man.
did. Yeah. Venom and Carnage did. But I think... Well, you know what, actually, I think you might be wrong there, Paul. I think, certainly while it existed like it did, I'm sure Venom was supposed to be made by New Line. Which was
I vaguely remember this.
Become part of Warner Brothers, because there was talk of it happening because of how successful Spider-Man was, and they never got it together. But I'm sure it wasn't owned by Sony. Sony might have bought the rights back.
No, Sony have got the rights because they were planning on doing a solo film.
Okay.
But is he in the new Spider-Man film?
I doubt it very much. I don't think they're going to go down that line yet.
Okay. It's not going to be an origin story again, is it?
No, it's not. But the main villain's going to be Vulture.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Well, because
played by Michael Keaton.
Yeah, ironically, Birdman playing Birdman.
Oh my god, that is genius.
Well, it was supposed to be. If Spider-Man 4 had happened when it was supposed to have done, it was supposed to be John Malkovich, wasn't it?
Yep.
Malkovich himself.
Yep, he'd even done his costume fittings. He'd done everything.
Speaking about costume fittings, has anyone ever seen that documentary about the death of Superman?
Yeah, I've seen
Superman
bits of it. I've not
Returns.
seen all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I've not seen it. I really want to see it, because I've seen Nicolas Cage in that costume.
Yeah.
And it's quite a sight.
Yep. Script written by Kevin Smith.
Indeed. Yeah. Was his name supposed to have a giant spider in it?
Yep, which he didn't want to write.
Yeah.
But the head of the studio told him he had to.
Yeah.
And then it ended up in Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you hear the story that Kevin Smith tells about that, it's cracking. I highly recommend that. Maybe I'll add a link to that as well to the thing. Right. I think that's enough chat. Let's bugger off. Close the doors of the pub and see you all for another show soon.
Yeah.
All right. Now we really are saying goodbye.
Okay.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
True.